The views expressed are solely those of the individuals providing them and do not reflect the opinions of the Team Pase podcast or their respective affiliates or sponsors. This episode is sponsored by LS Cream, the perfect blend of spices and tradition inspired by Haitian cremas. Please drink responsibly.
Sock Pase. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Team Sock Pase podcast. My name is Glad.
And I'm your boy, Rob. We are your favorite Team Sock Pase podcast show where we interview great entrepreneurs from all sectors of industry. Remember, subscribe, you share, you comment below. Subscribe, share, comment below. Glad.
Oh, man, we got a special episode for you guys today, especially for our entrepreneurs. Y'all better tap into this episode because we're going to be talking about how important tax and credit, business credit, is important to your business. And we've got a tax professional here, and we've got a credit professional here who's going to be talking about that. We've got Ms. Royal Tee and Ty. Welcome to the Team Sock Pase podcast,
What's up, y'all? What's up?
Thank you.
All right.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Welcome to Brooklyn.
Yes.
How was the commute? How was the commute? Talk to us about the commute.
Oh man, the commute was crazy because I'm originally from the Bronx, but I bought some property out in Connecticut, so
Okay.
I'm coming from Connecticut, and
Got you.
the traffic from Connecticut. Then now we got the traffic from New York. It was crazy. So
All
it
good.
took me about
Connecticut.
two hours to get here.
Hey, it's
Crazy.
funny. We were talking about being resilient in our last episode, and there you go. Here's an example of being resilient.
Yeah.
Gotta make it happen.
You got to make it happen.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Nah, that's
Bad
what's up.
weather or not, listen.
Yes.
Hey, so we're gonna be talking about, when people start up a business, the two important components that we didn't know about when we started our t-shirt company 12 years ago. Getting business funding and making sure your paperwork when it comes to taxes is important. We were just having a conversation with our tax guy, right,
Yeah,
Rob?
this week. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna be talking about that in depth, man. But Royal Tee, let's start with you with credit. When did you dabble into this industry? Because it's a big industry. There's a lot of experts in this industry. What's your what do you specialize in when it comes to business credit, and how did you get into it?
Absolutely. So yeah, again, I'm Royal Tee, the glue, and I call myself Royal Tee, the glue, because I put the pieces together, right? So I structure a business first. After I structure it properly, I'll go ahead and fix your credit if need be, if your credit is not ready in position to go get funding. And then we're going to get the bag. And not just get the bag, I'm going to give you different ideas to invest into, right? And the reason why I got into this was because back in my time, not too long ago, I ain't gonna say my age. I'm 22, but
No
what
doubt.
I'm saying?
I like that.
But it was. I'm originally used to getting it from the streets, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm originally from the projects in the Bronx, and when I came up, I'm out hustling the streets, and that wasn't really something I wanted to do, but I knew I had to bring food home on the table. I had to make ends meet. So I did what I had to do to bring the food home to, make sure I was surviving. And then, the product of my environment goes on. But what happened was I loved the real estate game. I loved it. I seen, from young, people buying properties. And it was like, damn, they not sharing the information with me. They not getting the information to me, and I'm like, all I need is the information. Just give me the information. And where I'm from, where I come from up, nobody, worried about trying to help you, So it's like, all right, let me get it how I'm going to get it. But eventually I'm going to find a way out, And one of my cousins, they plugged me in with a mentor. And once I joined the mentorship, it was perfect for me because all I needed was someone to actually show me the ropes, and then I knew I was going to go out and execute. So that's what got me into it because I came in the game, I had like a 580 credit score. Credit score was low, and I'm like, yo, I got to do something about this. And I kept saying that, and I wound up getting the mentorship, and it helped me. It leveraged me. It showed me the exact way, the A to Z steps I needed to complete in order for me to get to the next level. So I actually did it, and once I did it for myself, I was able to build my credit from a 580 to a 780 now. It's about 790 now.
Wow.
So yeah, so once I was able to do it, I said, oh, I got to give this information. I got to get this information to my people. My people need to know this information. You know, we need to know how to be able to go fix your credit and be able to leverage that credit and get funding. You know, we already know leverage, they say that's the language of the wealthy, right? So, hey, once I learned how to leverage, I said, all right, it's time to get more active, learn it a little bit more, and make sure I show it to my people. So my community.
Wow, interesting story. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the mindset that you was at when, you know, coming from, you said your background in the Bronx and in the streets and stuff, and then changing over, getting into mentoring. Like, what kind of mindset was there, like, in that surrounding you had?
Oh, man. Yeah. I had the mindset like, listen, I just got to get the money. I don't care what, you know what I mean? I just got to get out there and get it. You know I always was a go-getter. I knew I didn't want to sit around and not have no money, you know, so I'm like, all right. You know, because my father came from the streets, you know, rest in peace, you know, he came from the streets, so I've learned that and watched that growing up, and I just followed behind it, and it was like, I'm just here to do this, you know what I mean? I got to get what I got to get.
Were the people receptive to it? Like when you started, after you did the mentor, then you came back, you said you want to give it back to your people. Like how did they receive that?
It was actually good because it was like to see me, the transformation from me. I went from actually being known in the streets, they used to call me Thug in the streets.
Thug?
Thug. That was my name in the streets.
If I go to the Bronx, I could say, I know Thug. Yeah. I'll be good, right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. You know, so
all right.
it was like, you know, oh, I watched Thug transform to Royal Tee.
That's what's up.
And I seen the transformation in her. I watched it. I see the growth. And so they take it in and believe in me, and
That's what's up.
I'm just helping out now.
Congrats.
I'm the help right now.
That's what's up. Now, Ty, how about yourself? How did you get into this very important component of a business known like taxes? We were just talking about it before the mics got hot. You got the 1065. I just found out about something called the 944.
Yeah, he's just throwing numbers at us. I'm like
Rob and I, we're creators. We don't do tax, you know. But when you own a business, you've got to know at least a general idea about your taxes. So talk to us about how you got into this industry.
So the way that I got into taxes is I was first in education, but my background is in business accounting. And education got tough for me, and I wanted to expand. I wanted to tap into the other things that I knew that I liked, which was business. So from there, I started working at Liberty Tax. But as I was at Liberty Tax, I noticed like it was a lot of gatekeeping. Like they weren't really giving me, they just wanted me to do people tax returns. But as I was actually learning what the tax code is and how the tax code is beneficial and how you don't have to be scared of taxes, because I used to be scared of taxes. I'm like, oof, I started a business. I'm like, how I've been started a business a long time ago. I was making candles. But I stopped making candles because I didn't want to pay taxes. I didn't know about taxes. So I stopped and I was working in education. And then I went back to that as I went back into taxes. As I went into taxes, I went back into thinking like, it's more to it. It's more to it than just being nervous about taxes. So from there, I found me a mentor, like T said, and I really decided that I wanted to change the mindset of people going into taxes. I no longer wanted our people to be scared of taxes. I wanted them to understand that the tax code is really built around helping. It's like an incentive book, really. But if you don't know the tax code, you won't know that. And that's why people need to have a tax advisor, a tax professional, a team of financial advisors to pretty much, just guide them through that and let them know. So that's really how I got into it. Just really wanted to tap into that side.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know having a business poses you a lot of advantages, in getting business funding and if you're structuring your business properly with the taxes and stuff like that. Yeah. Royal Tee, I want to ask you, so Rob and I, we were at the Credit Summit a couple weeks, end of last month, right? And the majority of the tone of what Herman was saying, what Sheeta 3 and all of these credit experts were saying was banking is changing now. They're not lending to businesses as much. They are, but there's a lot more stipulations in place. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is true. The banks are switching up because they realizing there's a lot of default going on. They see a lot of the businesses defaulting on the loans, and once the big banks is getting the win of it, then now the small banks is going to follow behind and follow suit. So now they starting to lower the rate. Lower how much they giving to a lot of small businesses and requiring more, requiring to show the taxes and paperwork and stuff like that. So, but as we got creative once, we get creative again. You know, we just gonna pretty much figure it out again, and we gonna still be getting high limit credits. You know, at the end of the day, everything changed, right? And we all got to find our way through it. So as long as they could change as much as they want, I'm still gonna learn how to get the bag. I'm still gonna show my people how to get the bag.
Right.
So
I
they
remember
could,
that's what they were talking about too. 100%.
So let me ask you about the. I have a question for you too, but let me get back while we're on the subject. So you mentioned, you know, they're changing all the time. Like the banks, it's getting more strict right now. So how is it that? Do you think it's because of the culture that's learning more? Since the pandemic, everybody wants to become this entrepreneur. Like everything is entrepreneurship. I mean, especially on our feed that we, you know. So in the culture, do you think it's kind of like they're like the higher being, you know, whoever it is up top is like, wait, it's too many of them learning the secrets, so we got to move on to the next level. Like, what do you think that is?
Yes, absolutely. I believe that's so. I think they said, hold on, too many of this color skin, you know, is just getting ahead, getting advanced, and they trying to figure out ways to stop us like they've been doing for how many years now, right?
Yeah.
But we always got to try to stay ahead of the game. We got to do what we have to do to be able to manage and move forward. We gonna be up there. We were up there with them, you know.
Right.
They took this from us, you
True.
know. So it's like,
Yeah.
hey, listen, I'm gonna make it happen. We're gonna figure this out, and we're gonna get to the top, and we're gonna stay at the top. You know, so
No, that's what's up. That's a good answer. And for your question, I got a question regarding taxes. Why do you think a lot of people in our culture are afraid of taxes? Like when that word tax comes up.
I feel like it's just the lack of education around it. I
Okay.
really just think the lack of education, the lack of understanding, and then also people being afraid of investing in like a tax professional, like a actual tax advisor professional. Because some people, you might need a tax professional, and you might need a CPA, and you might need a financial advisor. And I feel like some people try to cut corners with it and try to find the cheap person or the person that might do it all. So I think between those two, but definitely the lack of education around it.
So now that we got the fun stuff out the way, right? Let's put some of this stuff into action, right? So I'm a young business, brand new business, right, Rob? Mm-hmm. And you get inspired, you have an idea. You get your LLC, you get your website, you're excited, you got your website. Easy stuff, right? You got your Instagram, I'm lit. You may get a couple of t-shirts, you start telling friends and family about it. You got $3,000, $5,000 saved up that you're gonna use to keep the business going, right? But then your money runs out and ain't no sales coming in. You need some business funding.
Right.
And then at the end of the year, you do your personal taxes, but you forget to do the business tax. Mm-hmm. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, what comes first when you're setting up the business? Trying to get the business funding first, or trying to handle the taxes even before you start the business? I'll let either one of y'all take that.
yeah. So I would say you gotta go get the bag first, and then that's when you go get in touch with Ty, and she pretty much gonna break down the taxes when it's that time to come. You know, you're gonna go get the funding. You wanna actually use that funding, invest that funding, and grow your business more. So that way, when you go to Ty, she can help you with those tax breaks where you able to rob Uncle Sam back, because they've been robbing us forever, right? So now you're able to rob Uncle Sam back with the strategies Ty actually know. So yeah, you're gonna want to go and get the bag first. You know?
Yeah.
So
I agree. I think get the bag first, but I also feel like it's also hand in hand. So it's like, all right, you got the bag, but before you start moving into these vehicles that you're gonna invest in, You should be tapping in. You should have somebody on your team that is a tax professional, and you should be tapping in with them. Like, okay, I want to go invest into this. What does this look like from a tax standpoint? So I think it's like hand in hand. Definitely get the bag first, but when you get the bag, you want to keep the bag. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get the bag and you start going crazy, Uncle Sam going to snatch that bag right from you. And that,
I experienced that. So it's crazy.
Sock Pase, what's up, world? Listen, every business needs a tax expert. File your K-1s, 1065s, all of that good stuff. You have to tap in with Business with Ty. Right, Rob?
Yes, Business with Ty. Business with Ty. Dope information, dope episode. And you text Team Sock Pase to the number that you see below here. Team Sock Pase to the number you see below here, and you get a copy of her ebook.
100%. See you soon.
Crazy. My first wholesale deal, I was just getting into real estate. I was lit. I'm thinking and this was a spot out in Elmont.
Nice.
Remember, I told you the story with this lady. So we went through like a whole 3 months trying to get this deal. Finally made the deal, signed the papers.
Right.
So I go to my investor, my real estate investor, who actually flipped the property. He was just like, all right, cool, here's a check, da-da-da. And I was a little naive, and somebody was just like, yo, be careful with that check because you're going to pay taxes. I was like, whatever. So I deposited that check, whatever. And next thing you know, like at the end of the year, 6 months later, they're like, yeah, you deposited, it was like two $10,000 checks. So you got to pay taxes on that. I was like, nah, but I heard anything. What happened was, but I was like, I already spent that money, but it was kind of like, damn, if I should have, the investor was like, look, you should have had like $9,999 in that bank
to save for.
I said, damn, you didn't even tell me that.
Yep.
But these are the little things when you don't know, you don't know.
Exactly.
So like the taxes, I feel that, like you said, it's a lack of education.
Just don't know.
You just don't know.
Don't know.
So when we talk, because right now people are just like really more in sync into taxes. They're learning a lot about taxes.
Yes.
But how do you keep up with the tax law? Like, how do you keep up with that? Because I think to me, the taxes change every day. Like Glad said, we had no idea about this 941, and then he's throwing numbers at us, and we're like saying, okay, but what if he, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you?
So, like, what do I do? Like, what does this mean?
How do you keep up with these taxes?
So for me, I mean, I love it, and that's what I do. So in order to even be a tax professional or a tax preparer, you have to do so much education. Like you have to.
That's a lot.
Yeah, the IRS is like, hey, if you don't do this certain amount of education, you shouldn't be doing taxes. And that's another thing too, going back to the last question you asked too, people need to have a good tax professional. They need to know how to vet their tax professional. People are just saying they're tax professionals, but are they really? Like, how much are they investing in the education? Because that's what it is. Like, I have to study the tax code. So when the IRS is releasing information, I'm signed up with different tax mentorships. I have different tax mentors. I'm in different tax groups. I mean, my Facebook is full of groups. I have different group chats full of, so we all hold each other accountable. We keep each other up to date, but it's so much. It could be so broad. So that's why I try to niche down and have like special niche, so I know exactly what I really want to learn and what I want to give out to the community. So like, I know everybody's into real estate right now. So I really took my time to say, you know what, I'm really going to learn these tax laws on real estate. And so when you are able to niche down as well, it helps you focus on the education part and able to retain it and then give it out to the people.
Interesting.
Fire.
Absolutely.
Royal Tee. Now Royal Tee's going to show us how to get to the bag. So question.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah,
let's go. Talk to me.
Once I start the business,
Yep.
can I start going to the bank right away? Like, is it 6 months? Do I have to show sales after a year, 2 years? Like, when does that young entrepreneur who just starts out, when can they go into that bank asking for some business funding?
You could start the bank soon as the paperwork get in hand. Soon as you receive the paperwork, you could go to the banks. There's certain banks, like for example, Chase Bank, right? You could start your business up. Once you receive your EIN, your articles of organization, you could go right to Chase Bank and apply for business funding. You could start up. You could actually open a bank account because then you want to build that relationship with them. So you want to open up a business bank account with them, a personal bank account with them, and at that same time, you could just apply for funding right then on the spot.
Without showing any sales?
Without showing no docs, because that's what makes it even better, right? You're a new business, you're a fresh business, so you don't have no docs. But it's so many banks now doing no doc loans.
No doc loans, right?
Especially if your business has been up and running for 2 years or more, you got the no doc loans, then you got lines of credit. But as soon as you start the business, I'm knocking at the bank door. I'm starting businesses, LLCs, as many as I could, just going to the bank and being able to get funding right away. So that's not an issue. So if you start your LLC today, soon as you get the paperwork in, you want to run to the bank and you'll be able to get funding.
So what
Just
do
that
they
simple.
what do they leverage on? Like, what do the banks leverage you on? Like, because it's like, okay, anyone could kind of start an LLC.
Right.
So do they look at the EIN number? They look at your social and all of that as a cosign or?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Correct.
Okay.
So they do. So you are personal guarantoring it.
Okay.
So they do look at your business. Look at your credit. So you want to look at your not just the numbers neither. So a lot of people, they figure, all right, I got a 700 credit score. I got a 750 credit score. Let me go and get funding. I've watched somebody with a 750 credit score get denied while somebody with a 680 get approved. And it was only because the summary of the credit was structured properly. So it's not just about the score, it's about the summary as well. You want to make sure that you have no late payments within 24 months. You want to make sure you have 2 or 3 increase or less. You don't want to have too many increases because the bank is looking at you like, wait, you've been running around looking for funding and they don't want to give you funding. Your age of history, that matters a lot as well too, because they looking. How could you expect to go to the bank and get $50,000, $100,000 in funding, and you ain't been getting credit from no other lenders? So the credit length, that matters as well. So it's making sure your summary is set structured properly, not just the credit score. So yeah, we do personally guarantor this funding through the business because either way, it's the same as if you was to go for personal funding, right? So you go for personal funding. You guarantor in the personal funding, but then now you hit with them high APR rates, you high interest rates, right? So you rather go start an LLC, get your business structured properly, make sure your credit is in the right position, and you could go ahead and get the bag.
Rob, if we knew this information 10 years ago.
Oh, we've been lit.
Man.
Lit.
That's what's up. Nah, that's what's up.
Lit.
Because a lot of times entrepreneurs, they're tapping into their personal funds, they 401ks.
Yeah, we tapped into our 401.
Yeah, we tap, and it's like,
We
you know
had
what?
no idea what was going on.
We could have just
No
went to the
idea.
bank and built a relationship with them, fixed our personal credit, and we lit.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm gonna get back to you. This is a great conversation. Ty, you can't treat your personal taxes the way you treat your business taxes, right? Because am I correct with
You're
that?
correct.
Because
Absolutely.
we submit taxes. April 15th, submit whatever. Business taxes is a whole nother beast.
Yep.
Can you a little bit go in depth? Because our tax guy was like, quarterly, you got to submit certain paperwork.
Yep.
Can you
Right.
kind of go into depth about those specific tax requirements that you look at quarterly?
Yes. So with your personal taxes, like when you're a W-2 person, you go to work, they pull your taxes out, you pay, before you even get your money, they pull that out, and then you get your money and you do whatever with it. But when you're a business, you actually get the money first, and you get to actually spend that money. So you actually get to have expenses, and then you get taxed, and then you have your tax liability or a refund. So it's a little different when you're a business. So yes, business have different deadlines. And what I like to tell people too is that when you start a business, you can now turn your personal expenses into business expenses. You know what I'm saying? And now you can write that off. So the things that if you were in a business and you were just a W-2 person, you can't write those things off. But now that you can still keep your job, you can still be a W-2 person. But now that you're a W-2 and you have a business, now you're like, okay, I can kind of be flexible with the money that I'm spending and writing that off and putting that money back into my pocket. But as a business owner, you have to pay estimated quarterly taxes. You have to think about payroll taxes. So that's where you're talking about like a 941 or a 944. Those are quarterly taxes that you have to pay. And believe it or not, when I first started, I had a lot of entrepreneurs coming to me, not paying those quarterly taxes, not understanding that you still have to pay it at the end, but the IRS is also penalizing you for not doing it throughout the year. So you get a penalty at the end of the year for not, paying that money quarterly. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of business owners lack understanding in as well, is like you have to pay taxes throughout the year, just like you do with your W-2. Every time you get paid, they're taking taxes out. But the thing about it with a business is you have the ability or flexibility to kind of like manage how much you have to pay. So I think that's what people don't understand. But yeah, coming with taxes is different. You got different deadlines. You got different extension dates. You even have different separate tax returns depending on what type of business you have. So I know you guys are a partnership.
Yeah.
So you guys would not file your taxes the same way a single member business owner would file taxes.
Correct.
You guys have a whole separate tax return, which is the 1065, where somebody who's just a small business owner, they just have a Schedule C. And then if you go even deeper into being an S Corp, now you have an 1120S. So you have to know what form you need to file as well with your taxes. And I think people don't understand that either. I get partners coming to me thinking that it's going to be on a Schedule C. Like, no, you have to get your 1065 done first. We have to get a Schedule K1 for you, which breaks down depending on your ownership of the business. So if you guys make $100,000 and y'all are 50 owners, everybody's taking home 50%. So people don't understand that. And I think, but I wouldn't expect the average taxpayer to understand that. That's why you need a tax professional. That's why you need a tax advisor. And because that's what I do. And what I do with my clients is I introduced something new this year. I introduced a tax accountability coach. And I got that from my mentorship. But what she does is, so say you came to me and got your taxes done and you had a tax bill. And I'm like, hey, make sure you get yourself on a payment plan for the tax bill. Some people don't do it. They don't do it. They let the interest occur. So I let my coach call you and say, hey, the last time we touched base, you were supposed to make these payments or get on this payment plan. Did you do it? Where are you at with it? Are you making your quarterly payments? Because we all need accountability. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs accountability. So I actually introduced that this year, and it went very well of just keeping people on track. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's another thing, too, just having some type of accountability as well.
What was the dumbest thing someone has ever tried to write off doing their taxes? Because I hear a lot of stories, and I look at them and I'm like, "You really gonna write that off?"
Believe it or not, I don't want to say it was the dumbest. It wasn't the dumbest, but it really it had my creative juices going. I had somebody come to me who was getting a BBL, and they wanted to. Stop. Yeah.
Nah, I want to hear more. Let us speak.
Yeah, let us speak.
So she was on track to get her BBL, but she wanted to know, like, if she started a business, would she be able to write it off? Like, how could she be creative in a way to write her BBL off? So she wanted to open up like one of those BBL houses, the BBL houses where the females go after and they get the massages, you have to stay there.
Yes,
so she wanted to open that up. So she was trying to see if she gets her BBL and open up the spa, could she somehow write her BBL off? So it kind of had me kind of thinking. I really had to like.
It makes sense now that you say, because I mean, if somebody's gonna get a BBL, I want to see how it looks on someone else. So that's part of marketing. I'm marketing my
BBL. Exactly.
My BBL.
So
Are you saying you had a BBL?
No. I said, if you heard what I said closely, I said if I saw someone who ran a business, a BBL business.
Now we're talking. Okay.
Big pause on that.
But if you think about it, like you said, when you really think about it, it's like, wait, it could be possible. So that's why I'm telling, like, the things that we do, if you start a business, it possibly could be a write-off. Because the IRS tells us, like, for you to write something off, it has to be with the intent to produce more income for your business. So you just think about it like that. So the technical terms is it has to be ordinary and necessary. But when I break it down for people, I'm just saying, like, just think about it like, will this help my business? will this help me bring more money into my business? And when you think about it like that, majority of the lot of things that we do
Right.
will help our business.
I
so
guess like T-shirts and stuff like
Right.
that. Like
Exactly.
merch.
Yep.
We got it.
Are you one of the tax professionals that require your clients to, take a copy of all receipts and send them to you? Like
I want them to.
You want them to?
I
Oh,
would
wow,
like
okay.
them to. But what I do is, now we're in 2023 where there's softwares that if you have a receipt, you take a picture, it stores it in your software. So I'm trying to get people into that mindset because record keeping is very important. Again, you can pretty much write off, I don't want to say you can write off anything, but you can make something deductible if you have good records. If the IRS, and that's why don't be scared of the IRS. If you have good records, you'll be okay. Long as long as you can prove that the intent of this was for the purpose of producing more income, you'll be okay. Like, it's no reason for you to be scared of the IRS because the IRS is for people like us, for entrepreneurs, for business owners. Why? Because we are helping, we're helping the economy. We're more producing in the economy than consuming. And the IRS likes that. Like, as entrepreneurs, we create jobs for people.
True.
You know what I'm saying? As we invest into real estate, we're doing properties. We're putting out properties and stuff like that. So we shift the economy, and the IRS likes that. So that's why I kind of say like that the IRS tax code is an incentive book for people like us, business owners, investors. Now, if you're just a W-2 person, you're not gonna feel that way. It's not much for you. Because you're not producing, and you're really a consumer. You're not really producing. Like, we're producing. So that's really the difference of it.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Royal Tee, I want to go back to you and talk about interest rates and amount of funding. The banks really favor businesses as far as interest rates are concerned, right? You get X amount of dollars, your interest rates, there's zero interest rates, or your payment is under $100, whatever it is. Yes. So, but sometimes a young business owner can sometimes mismanage that. What is how do you help guide them through that process? Like, what's the game on that? Do you take some funding and then go to another bank to get more funding to help pay? What's your game on that?
Right. Good question. Right. So, being straight transparent, my game on that is take the money and invest it. You got to take the money and invest it. You got to put it. Listen, it's not hard to invest money, especially now, right? It's so many ways to make money. For example, it's like you don't even have to reinvent the wheel, right? You could go and buy a turnkey business. You could go and purchase a business that's been already up and running, already making money, already got cash flow, even possibly passive income, and you up from there. You up from there. Then that way now you could go ahead and pay back what you owe to the banks because they 0% interest for the first 12 months. Then you got some that's even 15 months going into 2 years. So you have enough time to actually make some money and be able to pay back these credit cards, or pay back this revolving credit that you get. Gotcha. It's just about investing the money and doing what you're supposed to do with it. We're not taking the money and going to the clubs or going to do BBLs or any crazy thing like that, right? We're going to invest the money, and there's so many ways, you can invest the money. And one way I would say is a turnkey business. You could go and buy a turnkey business and be up and running right away.
So basically, you would have to know what you want to get into before you even get the bag. Before you get the funding on that.
You absolutely want to have a business plan. Because if you don't have a business plan, you're going to fumble the bag. You're going to fumble the bag. Imagine you being able to get 100, 200, 300K in funding and now don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? Or don't have nowhere to put it.
Right.
You're going to start using that money on regular curricular activities. Right. You know what I mean?
And those 12 months come by fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It does.
Yeah, that's 100%. What's your thought process on your relationship with banks? Do you like to work with many different banks, or you like to stick with one bank and then build a relationship from there?
No, I build the relationship with the banks. I'm
Many
in there.
different- many different banks.
Many different banks.
Okay.
Many different banks. I'm in there. I'm in their face. They gonna see me. They gonna know me. When I walk through that door, they gonna say, "Hey, good afternoon, Royal Tee." You know, so I'm in their faces, and I go to many different banks because I feel building these relationships with the banks is what helps you, you know, pretty much get approved quicker. And sometimes, you know, a lot of people, they'll go online, like a lot of gurus, they go online and they may complete application online and then expect you, now you got to deal with a denial or approval, and it's like 50-50 chance. But when you actually building these relationships with these business relationship managers, now you have more of a 90% chance of approval, because now they actually taking you under the wing. They giving you they showing you the ropes. They telling you what you need to qualify, so they pretty much helping you. Because you helping them, by you bringing them clients and you bringing them customers, it's only helping them grow. So
Got you.
yeah.
I mean, go deeper into like when you're saying like building a relationship. Like I know a lot of people talk about credit unions and stuff like that. Go a little deeper when you're talking about building relationships with the banks.
So when I say build a relationship, I love it. Good question, right? So when I say build a relationship, right, one way, a few ways, right? You could build a relationship by first you want to open a personal account with them. That's one way, right? You going in, you opening a personal account. You open up a business account with them. You open a savings account with them. You might even get a merchant's account with them. Now that's a form of building a relationship. Now, when you go in, you want to go in and meet with these managers, these business relationship managers, and talk to them and let them know this is what I do, this is what I offer, and how can we work together? How can I bring you more clients? How can I bring you more business? I pretty much vet out. I have a consulting business. I vet out my clients. I make sure they qualify, just like I'm qualified to come in this bank and be able to get $100,000 and walk out with it. I qualify my clients, and how can we work together so I could bring more clients to you?
What's usually the turnaround with that? Like, you say you take your clients, you hold their hand through the whole process. Is that like a 3 to 6 month process? A year? What would you think?
It depends on the person, the individual they self and their credit.
Gotcha.
If their business is structured properly, to actually structure the business, you could do that within 2-3 days, and have your business structured. You're just pretty much waiting for paperwork. But that's pretty much it. Because once you structure properly and now your credit is looking good, we could go ahead and go and get funding. Now you could get approved for the funding within a day, within the same time frame, within 24 hours. So the turnaround is pretty quick.
That's what's up. I'm ready to play a game.
Ready?
Let's go.
Hey.
I love games.
Sheet of three had play for play, right? So we're gonna do a play for play.
Yeah.
You said structure. I want each of you guys to give me 3 important things or relating to credit and taxes that an entrepreneur needs to know when setting up their tax structure and setting up their business to get funding.
All right, cool. I love it.
Whoever could go first, your
All right,
choice.
love it. So I would say, right, when structuring your business, like you said, you want to have a 1-800 number. You want to have your website. You want to make sure that you list yourself online. You want to list yourself on Google, Yelp, pretty much any online, so that way you look sexy to the business. I like to use my voice word sexy, right? So you look sexy to these businesses, right? So you pretty much want to make sure your business is fully structured properly, 100%. Like I said, 1-800 number. You want to make sure that you go and get a Dun & Bradstreet number too. That's another thing that's important. Even though it don't usually matter when it comes to business funding, it still matters when it comes to actually building that business credit. So you want to go and get you a Dun & Bradstreet number. But that's pretty much it, structuring your business properly.
Yeah.
So what you got on the tax?
What you got? What you got on taxes? What you got on taxes?
But when you guys say tax structure, what do you mean?
Okay, let me say it to you another way. What are 3 important documents that an entrepreneur should at least know about when doing when setting up their business?
So they should definitely know what tax form that their business needs to file. So again, if you are a single member, you're doing a Schedule C. If you have a partnership, you're doing a 1065. If you're an S Corp, you're at 1120. So it's important to know how you're going to file. So I would say that is one. The next thing for taxes, another important form, there's so many, breaking it down to 3.
Or more, your show. It's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. If you're going to be doing payroll, you need to know about the 940s if you're going to be doing, or if you're going to be, and if you're a single member, you also need to know about estimated tax payments. So that's important too. That's why it's so many, y'all. I'm like, just giving 3. But most importantly, knowing what form to file. If you have employees, knowing the payroll tax form. If you're doing like merch or something, or if you're into sales, you need to know about the sales tax form. And you should also know about your state tax rules. So that's not necessarily a form, but a lot of people forget about the rules of the state. So I would say that's important too when you're pretty much starting your business and you're getting ready. Because another thing that people go into is they try to find out, this is the new thing now, people are trying to get LLCs in different states because they heard this state don't have any tax.
What's your thought on that?
And stuff like that. So my thought on it is it's good. However, people have to understand, regardless of where your business is at, you still are taxed wherever business is being done at. So, for instance, I'm in New York, but say I go get a PA LLC. If I'm still doing business in New York, I still have to pay taxes in New York. So you have to think about that too. It is a good play, but you just have to think about, are you actually going to be doing business? So if it's good for like investors with properties, because if you get a property and you're not necessarily doing any business out in where you live, you'll be fine. So I would say find a state that has no tax, like Florida or something like that, Delaware, New Mexico, Wyoming. Those are good places to get do properties, because then you don't have to pay taxes in both places. But if you're doing a business out there and you're doing it out here, you're gonna have to end up paying taxes in both places. So
Nice. LLC or S Corp?
Ooh, that's round 2, Rob. Okay, round 2.
Round 2.
round 2. He went right into it.
We were right into it. So round 2, what is the best structure to have tax advantages and the best structure to have to possibly get more funding for your business?
All right. So to get the max funding, I would say that your credit score must be a 700 plus.
Personal
Credit score, a 700 plus, right? You want to make sure that you have no late payments within 24 months. You want to make sure you have under 3 to 2 inquiries. You want to have a mixture of at least 8 accounts, and this is personal accounts, mixture of accounts, installment, revolving accounts. So you want to show that your actual credit profile is good. You want to be great. You want to go and get the top money, to go and get the high limits. You want to make sure your credit is structured properly.
and as far as LLC, S Corp, which one do you think would get you the more of the bag?
So, well, LLCs, I go, listen, with me, one LLC, right? Listen, and I'm going to tell you this from my experience, right? But one LLC, I was able to get over close to $500,000 in funding.
Damn, I was going to say that for the end. You said how much?
Close to $500,000 in
One
funding
LLC?
from one LLC.
Okay.
And I got creative because I did this with a 580 credit score, y'all. And now with the 580 credit score, I was able to get about $300K in funding.
Oh,
but
you
I
gonna
got
tell
creative.
us how you did that? Go ahead.
Right. So so this is Jim, y'all, right? So what you want to do is, if you do have bad credit, you can always add someone onto your operating agreement who has good credit. And that way now you will be able to get funding with their good credit in your business. So now you're able to get the max funding as long as that person has good credit and is structured properly and your business is structured properly. And I was one person that had to do that at one point in time. I put my aunt on my operating agreement and I got about $300K in funding.
Wow.
So then now I double back because now my credit is good. So now I can use that same business and now go and get funding under my actual name. And now I'm close to $500,000 in funding.
Dope
Yeah.
nugget. That's
Wow.
That's big.
So that's not really, is that what you would call traditional cosigner or no?
No, it's not a
Okay.
cosign. You pretty much got a operating
Structure.
agreement, yeah, and you could
Operating.
get that from rocketlawyer.com, Law Depot. You could get operating agreement, and you want to get.
Sock
Pase.
Pase, what's going on, world? Let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys looking for business credit, business funding for your business? 100K, 150K, 200K or more, you have to tap in with Royal Tee, right, Rob?
Yes, tap in. You got to check her out on our last episode. And you got to text this number below, and you'll get 70% off for the ebook. Text Team Sock Pase, you'll get 70% off or for the ebook to this number, Team Sock Pase, to this number below, and you'll get 70% off or for her ebook. Dope information.
See you soon.
Want to give them 90% ownership while you take 10%. You're not really switching nothing with the state of with your Secretary of State, but you're just using that operating agreement. And when you go and you apply for funding, now when they ask, now you got the operating agreement to show proof that this person owns 90%. Now with me only owning 10%. They're not worried about my credit. You got 10% of the business. They don't even want to look at your credit. So
Wow.
they looking at the
Interesting.
person with 90% ownership.
That's dope.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dope nugget.
And you can do that with an LLC, S Corp, sole proprietorship.
Yeah, you could do that with an LLC, S Corp, sole proprietor. You could shoot your shot. You can shoot your shot. You know. So.
And how about for
definitely.
yourself, Ty? Which company structure gives you the best tax advantages?
So I would say S Corp. However, I always say it also depends on your situation. And S Corp also, they have certain requirements, but to get the real tax advantage, it's going to be an S Corp. It's definitely going to be an S Corp. Just based off of the way with an LLC, the way you have to pay taxes, you're going to pay that 15% taxes, and it's a lot as a self-employed person because you have to still pay into the FICA taxes. You still have to, your Medicare, your Social Security, but it's a little different when you are now taxed as a small corporation. It's the formula is different. So I would definitely say that's one of the strategies that I try to teach my clients is to take your LLC, get with your tax advisor, and see which entity would be better for you. See if you can convert over to a S Corp. Even if you're a C Corp can convert over to a S Corp as well. So most of the time you will get that advantage from being an S Corp.
So LLC, go through the definitions of each entity.
So LLC is the limited liability company. So LLCs is really for asset protection. Once you create your LLC, it now protects your assets. It takes you away from the business, and it gives you that level of asset protection. A S Corp is a small corporation, so a LLC can be taxed. And a small corporation is not an entity. It's just a classification from the IRS. So you're just being classified or in the tax world as a small corporation. But it's not really it's not an entity. You either have to be a LLC or a corporation to get the S Corp classification, pretty much.
Powerful. Round 3. Let's share a couple testimonials with some of your people in your communities. Talk to us about one or two of your favorite testimonials that you've helped people out with.
Yeah, great. So I have this one guy, right? He didn't know anything about the business funding, being able to get funding, and how he could actually stop working. How he could fire his boss, right? So he been working for the Social Security company for over 20 years, and he's like, listen, I'm ready to give it up, right? So I went and I was able to get him funding. I got him over close to $200K in funding, right? And he went and he started a wholesaling company. So now he's out and he's buying properties and flipping properties and so forth like that. So that was good because he didn't even have a business. So he had good credit. So I structured his business for him. Once I structured it, we doubled back, we went and got funding. And now he's taking the money, he's buying property, he's flipping them. So I'm loving it.
That's what's
I
up.
love it.
That's what's up.
Love it.
And for you, Ty?
For me, so I have a client in the community where I gave the community a gem. So what I try to get people to stop doing is they go to work, right? And at the end of the year, they either get a tax refund, they do their taxes, they either get a refund or they owe the IRS. But what I tell people is, especially my W-2 people, is that you have the ability to adjust that. So you know how you go to a job and you fill out your W-4 form, right? You can change that throughout the year to make sure you can either break even, or if you want to like get a little bit of a refund. But instead of just letting the IRS run its course, there's actually a tool on the IRS website called the withholdings adjustment tool. So you can take your pay stubs, you take 2 of your pay stubs and some of your other information, and you enter it in the tool, and it's going to tell you like, okay, you're on track to get a refund. So you can move the little tracker over and say, all right, I don't want to get, so say you're supposed to get $3,000 as a refund. Say, I don't want to get that $3,000. I want to get $10. So you move that over, and it shows you what should be on your W-4, so that you can break even at the end of the year. And then what that does for you is it puts more money back into your paychecks. So she actually ran the play, and then she showed me her 2 next pay stubs, and she was able to put at least $100 back into her paycheck every paycheck. So if you're getting paid bi-weekly, that's twice throughout the month, she's getting an extra $200 per month. So you think about that, and instead of just taking that and now spending it, because you're already used to not having it, put it into a vehicle, invest it somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So she was able to do that, put that money back into her pocket, and then take that, invest into real estate. Gotcha. So that was one of the my favorite testimonials that I got.
That's awesome.
Because I learned about dependents, just adding more dependents.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people try to do that. A lot of people do that, but they switched it up.
It's crazy, bro. I come from that world, man. Like,
Yeah.
people knew how to get around, and I'm just learning from a lot of people.
Yeah, especially with the kids.
Yo, that's
Especially
crazy.
with the kids.
I think it's time for the secret question.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so we do something here at Team Sock Pase podcast
Okay.
where there's a secret question,
Shake it up.
not related to what we spoke about, but it's a secret question.
All right, cool.
Let me take this off, 'cause this just makes a sound. So, here you go.
Bet.
Take a question out the bin, and one for
Shake
Ty.
it up.
All right, here we go. I actually got nothing, y'all.
That's
That's
the first time
First time,
I
that's a good one.
Yo,
Don't be
he's a
scared
clown.
now.
He's a clown.
He gonna learn today.
Question is the question.
What was the most uncomfortable place you have been in? What was the most uncomfortable place I've been in?
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Trying to think.
That's
Talk
a good
about
It
it.
could be
not even my
business,
question.
personal.
one. Yeah, that's.
Podcasts are therapeutic too now.
Yes.
Hey, I see.
I could say the most uncomfortable place I've been in was in the streets when I used to be inside them drug houses and selling in them drug houses, and how they used to come in and they used to take their drugs and run in and out, and bunch of stick-ups going back and forth in and out of these spots. So that was one of my like most uncomfortable, uncomfortable places and space I've been in.
Got you. And at that time, you were saying earlier how that's when you made that deciding factor, like, I got to figure out how to flip these homes and get into real estate, get that credit.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to get out of this. This is not building generational wealth. This ain't taking my family out the hood. So I had to change my whole mindset and say, listen, I'm not doing this for just me. It's bigger than me. This is about me. This is about my family. And that's what confuses me sometimes with a lot of people, because it's like, wait, we actually will go poor for our family, but we won't get rich for them. I watch a lot of people go Christmas shopping for birthdays, Easters, and stuff like that on minimum wage, or probably not even having it, just trying to figure out a way to make that money. And it's like, you really went poor for your kids, but now we got to figure out a way to get rich for them. Because that same money you was using to go shopping and now we got to change the trajectory of things. We got to go and invest that money so we can uplift and bring our people up to the top.
Man, bravo.
You know?
Bravo on that one.
Yes.
That was balls right
Definitely.
there. Ty, you got next. Don't be scared.
All right now. Shake it up. Let's see what we got here.
What you got?
All right, let's see. What's one bad thing people say about you?
There go the tax girl.
Okay.
Here she go.
Here she come talking about these taxes. No, all right. One bad thing people say about me.
That you don't care about.
That I don't care about. People say that I'm very straightforward. And it can come off a certain way. But I just feel like I'm realistic with certain things, you know what I'm saying? And so like if you ask me something, I'm gonna give you the realest answer that I can. So I think that can come off and people think that I can be aggressive or like I don't have empathy, I guess, for certain situations, because of I'm just thinking of it from a realistic standpoint. But I think that's one thing that I don't really care. Like, you know, I care, but I don't care. You know, I try to be mindful of it, but I just feel like I have to be me. I have to be real. Like I just have to be. There's no other way around it.
Especially when it comes to like taxes.
Exactly. I have to be honest with you. Yeah, I can't beat around the bush. Exactly.
But you do have a soft heart for the kids. Before the mic was hot, you were
Yes.
talking about your awesome other business that you have.
Yes.
Talk to us before we get out of here. You got to talk to us about what you do for the kids, man.
Yes. So I have a daycare with my sister out in Long Island. My sister decided we're both from the education world. And before I got into taxes, like I mentioned earlier, you know, it got a little rough for me. It's really hard in the industry. You know, you're dealing with kids, it's underpaid, you know, you're dealing with the people at work. So when I left education, we opened up a summer camp. But I was only working, you know, during the summer. So I needed something to do outside of the summer. That's how I really got into the taxes. But from there, we ended up opening up our own daycare because we have it in us to just, you know, we want to teach the next generation. I highly believe like we're already here. You know, older people, we already have, you know, we're already set. The next generation is going to be the next ones to really carry it on. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about wealth, legacy building, and generational wealth. So we decided to open up our daycare so that we can provide services to our community. We also have a non-for-profit called To Bring More because we bring more resources to our community. So through that, we have our daycare. We converted a 99-cent store into a daycare. And we have about 60-something kids, and we have about almost, 17, 18 staff that we do. We're running on year 4 now. It's amazing, but with any business, you know, you have your challenges, but we love it. That's our heart right there.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's nice.
Powerful episode, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Powerful gem.
Yeah.
Royal Tee, you got to let people know where they could tap in with you to get more information. And if they want to join your community, let them know where they could tap in with you so you can help them go get that business funded.
Yep, absolutely. But hold on, Ty, they think they slick.
What's up?
Hold on, we only did the rounds. They ain't do the shit.
Let's go, T.
On the next episode. So check us out. Team Soccer.
Yo, Rob, this is the second time this happened to us.
This is
So
the
next
second
time we
time.
just probably just do the question.
Might as well, right?
Here we go. There we go. The drum roll.
Okay, T.
It's like, nah, bro.
Like, no.
That
You ain't putting
I
them
got
in the hot seat.
Yo.
Damn.
Low T.
He scratched it. He said, hold on. I'm about to not get in this box.
Don't do none of the ones we did.
Damn.
Oh, he got all one over here. He got the all one over here.
Yo.
Go on, T.
Yeah.
My wife's here, so I got to answer right. If you could meet the younger you, what would you tell yourself?
Oh.
Good question.
It's a powerful question.
Powerful.
I got a big heart. I give myself to people, and then I get bit by it. So I would just say create more boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's a bad thing. Boundaries are very good, but sometimes people see Glad's always available, whether it's family or friends. Glad is always available, or Glad's they assume that he'll do it, he'll get it done. But sometimes I gotta take care of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm busy too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people can take advantage of that. Yeah. So I would tell my younger self, because I got hurt a lot of times. You know, so I would tell my younger self, Glad, you got to create these boundaries because you got to take care of what you got going on. Yeah,
I love that you said that. Because I feel like this year for me is that year of like myself because I'm a big giver too. And I feel like that wasn't allowing me to scale my business where I wanted it to be because I was running, jumping to everybody else, helping everybody else. I never took a second to, I never could say no. You know what I'm saying? So then that I put my business on the back burner. So I was sitting at the same place. And then I just started like, nah, I'm selfish. I'm being selfish. It's about me. And from there, I just seen the elevation of my business. So I love that you said that because I was just thinking about that the other day. Like,
Powerful.
yeah.
Rob, you got next, bro.
Yes. Let's go, Rob.
Good luck, Rob.
Let's go, Rob. You ain't slick.
Let's go.
Shake it on up. They
And
wasn't,
it can't be any of the one of the questions that we got. It gotta be a fresh question.
they wasn't ready for this. They didn't expect this. They like, dang.
Oh, that's the end of our time.
Right on time.
Nope.
What you got?
Ooh, Lord. Okay.
I love the little beginning for everybody. It's like, woo.
What's one thing you can change about yourself?
That's powerful.
Wow.
I gotta get the hardest one.
Keep it real.
Yo, keep it real.
Let's go.
All right, one thing I could change about myself.
Look in the mirror.
Yeah. This guy, bro. he's like the hype man.
I'm there right in the back.
Let's go, son. I have to say, one thing I could change about myself is, there's a couple of things. I don't know everything, and trying to be at different places at one time. I can't do everything. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't. I always think I could do everything today. It's okay to say no and put it off for tomorrow. And that's
really what it is. It's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no. And I've been learning to say no. He's my witness. And it's helping me, you know, and yeah, if I could change one thing, it has to be that.
Yeah.
Are you changing that?
Yeah, I feel that I am.
Okay.
It's hard. It's a challenge. It's a work in progress. I had to do it with my own family, friends, close friends. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay to say no, and they'll be fine. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
Absolutely. I love
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
yeah.
That's deep.
Thank y'all for that.
Yeah.
definitely.
Right.
You happy now?
No more questions.
Are we good now?
I'm happy.
No, we good.
Huh?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't give your socials yet.
Yep. No. So you can find me on Instagram at born2influence. And another thing I want to do, if I can
Yeah,
give
go
this
ahead.
to your audience,
Absolutely. Yeah, for
I want to give them access to my ebook, right, on how to be able to get 100K in funding and 9 action steps, just 9 action steps. They'll be able to get 100K in funding. I'm gonna give you this ebook for 70% off, and also give you free access to my Facebook community, where's the Capital Blueprint Varsity that I got going on, where I'm giving out a bunch of different game and gym
We'll
and
throw
strategies.
that in the link tree
throw
and
that
all
in
that.
there.
Yeah.
Say it one more time so
absolutely.
Joel could put that in there for you.
So it's Born to Influence, Born the number 2 Influence on Instagram.
And the name of the community?
And the name of the community is Capital Blueprint Varsity. You will find that on Facebook, Capital Blueprint Varsity.
All right.
Yep. And I if you text this number 929-810-0204, I'll give you access. Type, matter of fact, I want you to put Team Pase. Once you type in Team Pase, I'm gonna give you access to my ebook for 70% off, and also give you access to my community for free.
Give that number again.
Yeah, so the number again is 929-810-0204.
Let's
go.
All right.
Nice.
Now I gotta give something away for free too. No. But you guys can find me on Instagram, Business with Ty. It's BIZNESS with TAI. So that's Business with Ty. And of course, since T threw something in, I know I gotta throw something in too. So I'm gonna give you guys access to for my self-employed people, my small business owners. I'm gonna give you guys access to my ebook for tax deductions. So it gives you guys some tax strategies, some tax deductions that you can actually use right now. It gives you actionable steps inside of the ebook that you can actually implement right away. So I'll give you guys access to that. You guys can text 516-590-5200. Say Team Sock Pase, and you guys will get that access.
There it is.
And mention the daycare center.
Oh, yes. And the daycare center you can find is at the Cloud Center, and we're in Long Island, New York.
All right, now.
Dope.
Yes.
Guys, thank you for doing this. I know you guys had a long commute, but we made it happen.
Yes.
Yes.
Powerful information, powerful
Amazing.
gems, powerful bars.
Yes.
We gonna tap in with y'all, man, for sure. Royal Tee, Ty, we appreciate you.
We appreciate
Yeah.
y'all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so
This
much.
was
Yo,
amazing.
Yo, the females be
They're
killing
killing
this
it.
year,
They
bro.
They're killing it.
It's
Yo.
our year. Let's
100%.
go.
Rob, housekeeping items.
Yo, Team Sock Pase on all platforms and all listening platforms. Team Sock Pase, Team Sock Pase on YouTube. Check us out. We got over 1,000 subscribers now. So yeah, it's there. Okay. So
And we bubbling.
we bubbling, we lit. And also thank you to our sponsors, LS Cream. Y'all liked it?
Oh, yeah.
It was
they
good.
tasted
It was
nice
good.
and
It
smooth.
was
It
good.
dope.
Smooth.
It's
Yeah.
dope.
Good,
That's what's
good.
up. So LS Cream, check them out on our link tree as well. Also Sweet 100, thank you so much. And also Roots of Brooklyn, we appreciate y'all for the sponsorship.
No doubt.
And we're definitely looking for some more sponsors.
No doubt.
'Cause we got
Till
a
next
lot of
time,
good-
y'all. Appreciate y'all. Team Sock Pase.
We out.
We out.
Say.
All right.
LS Cream, the perfect blend of spices and tradition inspired by Haitian cremas. Please drink responsibly.